to Simply Be, Simply Me podcast with your host, Nakeisha Smith. Today is a very special episode, but also a very nervous episode for me. I announced that we were doing a contest where we were going to have someone interview me and be the podcaster for the day. So we have the winner here, but I am really nervous. And some of the people behind the scenes know that I'm nervous because I don't know if you can see, but sometimes my leg is like going back and forth because I'm a little nervous, my nervous shake, because I don't know the questions that are going to be presented to me by this guest. But I trust they will be amazing and wonderful questions, and we are going to have a great interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet the winner and guest, Miss Jeanelle. Yay!
Hey.
I wish I had a button to press, like a round of applause. I would have pressed the button, but it's okay. I'll give you that applause. Yay! All right. So before we get into you actually interviewing me, I want the people to know who you are. So introduce yourself.
So my name is Nell Sells. Well, Instagram is Nell Sells DFW, but I'm Jeanelle Dugue. I'm originally from Florida, born in Miami, raised in Tampa. I actually moved out here about 2 years ago just because I wanted something different. And besides that, I started my real estate career. So it was a huge adjustment, I will say. But I will forever be a Florida girl at heart. But here I am today, 2 years later, thriving and just doing great out here. So
All right.
yeah.
Well, we are excited to have you. I am nervous because I realize I guess my nerves come from not being in control over the questions. But I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to share my space with you. And you are actually, even though you won, you are actually the very first guest.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I feel honored. This is exclusive.
You are the first guest. We have other episodes where we are taping with other guests and individuals from all walks of life, but you are the very first one. So,
In the words
yay.
of Draco, I did it
You
first.
know what? We should have had drinks or a celebration. It would have been for me a makeshift shot of tequila because it wouldn't have been real.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe bourbon because that's my choice. I like to drink bourbon.
Ooh.
You know what? Your face said it all.
I'm more of a tequila girl. I don't do brown.
I am a woman of a certain age, and tequila will make me feel like I need to go to the ER the next day because it just doesn't work for me because I'm not in my 20s anymore. But it's okay. So, all right. So I am going to actually pass it over to you. This is your podcast. This is for you, and present your questions.
All right. So my first question for you, Miss Nakeisha.
Oh gosh, I'm so nervous.
Don't be. It's not bad. What's your biggest pet peeve?
I'm laughing because I wasn't expecting that question. I have a lot of pet peeves. I'm gonna say something, but as I say it, I think about the jacket that I have on right now. So the jacket that I have on right now is supposed to give like a crushed up look. That's the look of the jacket. But coincidentally, I don't like to see people in wrinkled clothes. It's a pet peeve of mine when you leave the house. Like, just iron your clothes. It, it just looks so much better. You don't have to be fancy, but just iron your clothes. That's a pet peeve of mine. I don't even know if this is a pet peeve. This is if you send me a text message or call me and you don't say hello first, you just go right into it. If it's a text message, I 9 times out of 10 won't respond. And I'm being so honest. Like people who know me, even my kids, they'll send a text message, and if they don't start with hello really quick right afterwards, it's like, hello, mother, or hi, mom, or I'm sorry, because you can greet someone hello before you get to what it is that you need from them. So that's one of my
Right.
pet peeves, not greeting someone. That's actually probably my number one pet peeve. Not greeting someone before getting into what you may need from them or just starting a conversation. So,
Okay.
all right.
Those are some good ones. I agree with you with the second one because gotta be respectful.
Oh, see, this is hard for me because you are in control of this, but I almost want to throw it back at you and say, so what is your pet peeve?
Oh, I can tell you mine.
All right, all right, go for it. What is your pet peeve?
um, my first one is liars. I hate, and
Is
I
that a
know
pet peeve or that's just
it's
something that
I'm a,
human decency you shouldn't do?
it's a pet peeve to a certain. Well, let me explain. If I know the
Wait,
truth.
don't call anyone out.
Oh no, I'm not
Don't call
calling.
it.
No, 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 no.
They may come get us.
No, it's more so if I know the truth, like, and you know that I know, but you're gonna sit there and lie in my face, like, yeah, that irks my nerves.
Okay,
That
I can
that
see that.
boils me up to a point where it's like, okay, why are you trying me? You
Okay,
playing with me at this point.
all right, I can see that. I can see
So
that. I
that
get
is
it.
a pet peeve. Another one, which is a big one, is people that smack while eating. I hate that with a passion, and I know hate is a strong word, but
Mm-hmm.
I strongly hate that with a passion. Please do not smack your mouth while you're eating, because who trained you?
Like you don't have any home training.
Like, no, at all. Zero.
Okay,
Zero.
all right,
So those are my top two.
okay, all right. I'll take it, and I would agree.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so my next question
I
is
keep taking a deep breath because I'm like, okay, holding my breath. Go.
I'll say, what would you do if you won the lottery?
Any credit card bills, payments, cars, whatever, will be paid off in full.
Okay.
And of course, my husband and I will easily just give our children a substantial amount of money. We would honestly buy real estate in multiple states. I mean, we already do that, but now we would like increase it, maybe by commercial properties, buildings. I don't know what's for sure. Invest in real estate. I know I would donate to certain organizations, as far as things that me, you know, I feel connected to. Um, Go on an amazing shopping spree.
We
What else
love
would I
those.
do? Well, it depends. Wait, because I didn't said a lot. You didn't tell me how much did I win,
Let's say you won like 500 billion.
girl. Everyone in this room. I'm paying off all your credit card debt. I could possibly purchase one piece of property for everyone in this room, and ooh, I would live a probably. I would probably move somewhere international, and I would
Mm.
just probably. I don't want to say retire because I don't believe in the retire. I believe in a slower pace of life, but you should still be moving forward to doing something that makes you happy in your dreams. And but I would, yeah, somewhere international, somewhere Caribbeans, buy a home over there, definitely on the ocean, and just live life over there. That's probably what I would do. And I certain if I pick certain places, my husband would be like, absolutely, let's go. So, what about you?
Me, I don't know. First off, it would take me a while to spend the money because I gotta sit there and like sit down and really enjoy seeing $500 billion in my account, and then kind of like, okay, soak
Well,
all of that in before I start spending.
I mean, what is there to enjoy? You are set for life.
Just because
So,
life be lifing, bills be billing. So it's like,
I agree, but 500 billion, life ain't gonna life for you. No, I mean, life is gonna life for you, but not from the money perspective.
oh
You don't
yeah,
have to worry
yeah.
about that. So, okay.
But eventually, I would spend it. Honestly, charity, organizations as well, give some money out to that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely buy a lot of real estate properties, more
Mm-hmm.
so commercials. Probably have maybe start like an apartment management company,
Oh wow. Okay. Why?
and only because recently I've been inspired to do this. Just seeing a lot of people out in the streets, like homeless people,
Mm.
it's like I feel like not a lot of people are, well, not people, but more so the government, the higher ups. I feel like they're not doing enough,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. So for me, I would like to help them out in terms of just building a small community apartment complex where, maybe up to 6 months to a year, rent is completely paid off for them, and that gives them time to kind of like connect to find a job, or if they abused drugs in their past life, they can go into rehab, and depending on how long that takes will determine how long the rent will be paid off, and then give them extra time to get back on their feet, looking for jobs and such. So I would provide those resources to them. So just making a difference, really. So that's one of the big things.
Can I tell you, I'm actually happy that I presented you back with your own question because one, I didn't know that was going to be your answer, but two, hearing you answer that, it almost sounds as if you've already done it. Like you have a full plan of what you're going to do, the resources, what it looks like. And I commend you for even one thinking of others
Hmm.
because I'm big on that. You are always supposed to help others and be supportive and be a blessing to others. So the fact that God even planted that seed in your mind and in your heart and in your soul, at some point definitely move forward. You don't need the lottery to do that.
Yeah.
If you can help even one person, and it could be you may end up just selling a home, um, a $3 million home or $2 million home, and you have enough now that you can put one person in a apartment complex and pay their rent for a year is an amazing blessing within itself, or even 6 months. So the fact that you even have that on your heart, definitely at some point in your life, don't give up on that. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, God is going to make sure you're able to be a blessing. And even if it's, again, just that one person, know that that still makes a difference and you're
Hmm.
still doing your part. And He's just going to bless you just for even thinking that way. So I love hearing that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
All right, so now as we go into our third question, I don't feel as nervous, but don't don't make me regret not feeling as nervous. All right, go.
Third question. I'm gonna take it easy.
Oh gosh. See, now you put the nerves back. What does that even mean?
it's it's okay. It's okay. It's not. It's nothing major.
Oh gosh. Go ahead.
I will say. Well, this one here. For anyone that's looking to get into the real estate industry,
Mhm.
what advice would you give to someone who wants to become a real estate agent?
My advice would be not to give up. If it's something that is truly your passion, it's something that you truly um, have as a dream of yours, don't give up. Because there's moments in real estate where you will want to give up. There's moments in real estate because real estate, just like any other profession, it has its peaks and it has its valleys. And you have to continue to still move forward, even when you may have a month, 2 months, 3 months, or maybe 6 months where you haven't closed a deal. It doesn't mean that you're not good at this. It could be the timing of the market. It could be maybe what used to work for you before is not working for you now. So maybe you need to revamp what you once did and come up with a new strategy to move forward in real estate. But no matter what, don't give up and make sure you stay prayed up because it is not an easy industry, and I joke about it, but I think a lot of real estate agents really watch reality TV, and they think it really is like selling Sunset and selling the OC. And again, I'm never making fun of those shows because I like to watch reality TV, and those are some of the shows I watch. But it's not the reality. You watch those shows, and yes, they do show you here and there. Oh, I just sold $1 million homes. One, it's a different industry, so yes, they sold $1 million homes, but it's a $1 million area that they live in. But also, they don't show you the in between. Yes, they sold the $1 million home, but they didn't show you the 30 to 45 days during the time that it was under contract. What happened in the inspection? Did it fall out of contract and then come back to the market? Did your deal fall through? Because in real estate, deals fall through every single day. The day of closing, the day before closing, a week after someone went under contract. I had a deal that recently just fell through, not because of any fault of my own, but as fast as it went under contract, a week and a half, 2 weeks later, it was back on the market because it needed to be terminated, and I don't even know if I should share why it was terminated. But I'll let you decide because this is your show. But my advice would be not to give up on even on the toughest days, because it's not an easy industry. But if you really are passionate about it, don't give up and stay prayed up, and be okay with connecting with other people and learning from them. They are not your competition. They are there if they are genuine. They are there to help you, guide you, and support you. It doesn't mean that they can necessarily help you with every step of your transaction or every step of the way in your space of real estate, but maybe one conversation with them, or one motivational moment, or maybe one assistance with help from a contract, or one business idea or strategy. Just don't be afraid to partner up with genuine people in this business, because they're not your competition. It's more than enough business in real estate for all of us to be successful, because success looks different for all of us. So that's it.
I definitely agree. What's for you will be for you.
What? Wait, I'm going back to you. What
Oh,
advice would you give to?
okay. So, I'd say similar to what you said, but just to add on more to it, there's gonna be some moments where you kind of like you said earlier, just second guess yourself a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. But whenever that happens, remind yourself your why. I feel like knowing your why is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because whenever you get into a moment where it's like, oh man, like I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, why did I even start this in the first place? You think about your why, whether it's, about generational wealth or your child or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case may be. That's going to help you, get back in the game. And it's like, okay, you know what? This is the reason why I'm doing it. So let
Mm-hmm.
me get my tail up. Let me get to this bag, So I feel like knowing your why is very important, but don't make it simple to a point where it's like, oh, my why is because I just want to make money. Like, think deep about it, like personal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's one thing. And also work hard, be consistent. Consistency is key. Got to remain consistent, come up with a game plan, know your process. So, whether that's like perfecting it, because of course, in the beginning, it may not turn out the best or whatever, but over time, as you learn things and attend trainings and network with people, you're going to come up with a whole bunch of ideas to perfect your craft.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like perfecting your process is one thing that I would advise new agents to do. Also, lastly, don't be afraid to like put your foot down. Stand on business. Stand on business. So that goes with listing agents, your clients, like just anybody, because I feel like that's a way of gaining that respect is when you actually put your foot down and you let them know, like, this is what it is, set the expectation. So,
The generational wealth is a real thing, especially in our community. And when I say our community, the Black community, we don't really focus on generational wealth the way we should for any industry that we get into or understanding our why. So when you speak about generational wealth and when you said it, it felt good to me to hear you say that because it's a real thing. And if you continue to keep your whys, such as you said, but more so that generational wealth, if that's one of your whys, it will allow you to just keep going when you don't want to, because that's a real thing. And it doesn't matter what profession you're in, real estate, marketing, film and production. If this generational wealth is connected to that, keep going and don't give up. The second thing I want to tell you is that just seeing you flow and answering these questions and seeing the confidence that I not only see it but feel from you is so amazing to see. And I am proud of you. And I can say that because there's elements, and I'm not going to get into details, but there's elements of when you first started this real estate journey. Um, by the way, I know Jeanelle from real estate because we both worked at the same brokerage at one point, and she was a newer agent. And I don't know if I did or not. Did I teach one of your classes?
yes, you
Okay.
did.
And I was teaching one of her classes, and we just stayed connected. So I'm able to speak on a little bit about her journey and how she started in real estate. So to see where you are now and to just see that confidence, just, yeah, we have a light shining on you, but it's shining even brighter because of the confidence that you have on you now. And I am so proud of you.
Thank
So,
you.
love it. You're
Thank
welcome.
you. I appreciate it. Um, so let me see. Let's.
How much time we have? Because now I'm starting to sweat. Because the fact that she's got, how many questions do you have for me?
I mean, I have quite a few, but we don't have to go through all of them.
No,
But
it's all right. We're good. We're good.
I will
The
say,
production team behind the scenes will let us know when we have like counting it down, I guess.
okay,
Right? Okay.
all right.
All right. Go. You're good.
So I will say, let's get deep into things.
Oh,
Let's start off with, how did you meet your husband?
oh, that's easy. We met in college.
Okay.
We met in college.
Do you remember the first date?
Do I remember the first? Yes, our first date, if I'm not mistaken, and he will kill me if I get this wrong, but I believe our first date was for my birthday because we met closer towards the ending of the college summer semester, and my birthday is in July, and he took me out on a date to this nice Italian restaurant, and yeah. See, you're taking me back now. To this nice Italian restaurant. I remember what I had on. My favorite pair of, at that time, Old Navy jeans and this white, um, like sheer top. And at that time, I had a very short pixie cut. I've always loved pixie cuts, and I had a really, really short pixie cut at that time. And I had a good time, and I remember feeling happy. That's the one thing I remember. It was one of the first birthdays in a very, very, very long time, because typically I'm not happy on my birthday. Growing up, my birthday wasn't a happy occasion for me. And I remember that date and that day because I remember feeling so happy on my birthday. It may have actually been, now that I say it out loud, the first birthday that I was actually happy on.
Oh, wow.
And not to say that I'm like just like sad or anything on my birthday, but it has never been something growing up that was a celebration. There wasn't birthday parties. There wasn't, let's sing happy birthday and birthday cake and candles. So it was never like a big to do. So I wasn't sad on my birthday, but it wasn't a celebration. So it was just like a regular day. Versus this, I remember feeling happy and celebrating. And it may not have necessarily been my exact birthday, but it was close enough, and I remember feeling happy. So, so
Okay.
thanks, honey. I never told you that. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I've ever told him that because it's so long ago.
That's actually pretty sweet, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
All right,
significant.
thank you. That was a good one. That was a good one.
No problem. No problem. I told you it wasn't that gonna be that bad. All right. So, did you have any siblings? And if so, how did they affect your life?
Ooh, I do have siblings, and um, I have I'm trying to figure out how to answer this because I'm adopted.
Oh,
So the
really?
adoption episode. So I have four siblings that I was raised with, and then finding out that I am finding out that I was adopted. I learned that I had additional, and I'm just trying to count in my head. That's why I may look like I'm trying to count. I learned that I had, I hope I'm counting this right, six additional siblings from my biological mom.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So the six additional siblings from my biological mom, no, I can't say they impacted my life because I didn't learn of them until many years later. Now I'm an adult, so that's when I learned of the six siblings. And then I have the four that I raised, not raised, but was raised with. And did they impact my life? No, because if I'm being honest, growing up, I was always a loner.
Hmm.
So even though I had siblings, I stayed by myself. And there was an age gap. So my older brother and older sister, they were older than us. So by maybe 8 or 9 years, maybe 10. So there wasn't a like, oh, we're going to just go and play on the playground because they're now, when they're 16, we're like 8 and 9. So,
Okay.
and then my younger sister, we just like different things. So the things that she liked, I didn't like. Even now, like we're just opposite. But overall, when she would want to go play outside, I didn't want to go play outside because I was a loner. Or I said in one of my other podcasts that I knew I always wanted to be a lawyer by the age of 9. So I was watching law shows, studying things. So no, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Just because I was a loner and stayed to myself, so I can't say they impacted my life in a negative way or a positive way. I just, yeah, I love them, but I was just a loner. I was just going through life.
Okay.
I know that. Again, I'm answering another question now. Now that I think about it, I was a loner because my younger sister always wanted to go outside and play, and I did at some point go and hang out with other kids because then I ended up, when as I got a little older, discovering a dance team that was in one of the building complexes I lived in, and I joined that dance team just to do like recreational stuff and things of that nature. And I had friends here and there, but most of the time I just love being alone and listening to music. But I'm saying listening to music because again, you're now making me go back. And I used to listen to music that was not in my age category.
Okay.
Like I love jazz from a very early age. And I remember growing up and then getting into high school, and my friends now in high school, I used to love this jazz artist named George Duke, and I would play his albums, and I had his CDs, and I still have them, and they would be like, who is a George Duke? Like, who's listening to George Duke at 16 and 17? But from as early as I can remember, I used to love old music that just wasn't for my age, which is so strange. But okay.
Okay.
I think, and I'm only guessing because I think I heard some of the people behind the scenes. We have time for one more question. Okay. All right. So make it a good one, but not too crazy.
Oh no. Okay, so I'll say My last question is, what challenge in your life shaped you the most?
Challenge in my life shaped me the most. Ooh.
I'm gonna end this with a banger.
Ooh. Ooh. I have a couple that I'm trying to figure out to say shape me.
Like, what would you, what, like, which challenge would be like the most, like on the number one top of like the list is the most influential like challenge thing that you ever went through that shaped you?
I don't know if I can say it shaped me, but it just definitely gave me a better understanding. So, and it's going to go back to my adopted mom. We did not have, like, and again, I spoke about this on my other episode. We didn't have like this warm and fuzzy mother and daughter relationship, but I still loved her. I believe she loved me, and she just did the best that she could. But now she passed away, and when she
Mm.
passed away during that time, and this was, I don't even know how many years ago now. When she passed away, I had this assumption that because we didn't have the greatest relationship, that it wasn't going to impact me that much. That I was going to still feel grief and still mourn, because that's, when you still are so close to someone, like you lived in the same space with that person,
Mm-hmm.
or even if you have a friend or someone distant, like hearing someone pass away, everyone is always like, oh my gosh, that's so sad, and you feel a sense of something. And that's what I thought it was going to be, but it actually ended up impacting me um, more than I expected, and it was because of me. I was the last person to see her when she passed away, compared to all of my other siblings. And knowing the conversation that we had before she passed away, she was in the hospital, and we had a really, for the first time in years, acknowledgement of things, apologies for things, and her saying to me, do you forgive me, and things of that nature. And I said yes. And I remember her giving me a hug when she didn't have the strength days prior, or even earlier that day.
Mm.
I was feeding her, and she couldn't even like feed herself because she didn't have the strength. But she managed to have the strength to give me a hug and say, "Can we start over?" And I said yes. And it was a real, in that moment, to me, a mother daughter moment. And then I remember going to the hospital door, and I remember turning around, and when I turned around, she blew me a kiss. And based on our relationship before, we didn't have that type of relationship for her to blow me a kiss. And I blew a kiss back to her. And when I blew the kiss back to her, it was just something that came over me, and I knew I was never going to see her again.
Mm.
Like, I knew I was never going to see her again. And I remember going downstairs because my husband and my children were supposed to come, and that they, as we were going, they were like, "No, we just don't want to see your mom like that." In hospital, my other siblings at that time were supposed to come that same day, and things happened. They didn't come, and it ended up just being the two of us, which now I know that was the way God wanted it to be. He wanted it. There were supposed to be about 10 people coming to the hospital that day. It ended up only being just the two of us. We had this
Wow.
heart to heart conversation, and she finally acknowledged the things that we discussed and apologized. And the hug and the mother and daughter love that we probably should have had all of these years, we had it in that moment. And she passed away. And I remember feeling like a little angry, because her saying to me, "Can we start over?" And I said yes, that we never got a chance to start over. And so it impacted me more than I thought it would. And I would say that's one of the things.
That
Yeah, I went through
is Wow.
That was really one of my tough times where I was depressed. I'm an emotional eater, so that means when I'm in my feelings about stuff, I'm going to eat. And I was eating a lot instead of processing my feelings, and it was hard. It was really, really hard for me. And then I would say that it just helped me understand that even though you may have siblings or family members that you may not be close to, when they are gone, it still impacts you. It
Mm-hmm.
is and may impact the individuals who didn't have that loving relationships more, because now they feel like they lost something that they're never gonna get. So,
Right.
all
Wow.
right, Jeanelle.
That's beautiful.
Was it? Because all
Not.
your questions made me go back, but I think I did good because I didn't cry, and I don't feel that I want to cry, because if you would have maybe presented me with this question years ago, I would have probably cried. But now, no, understanding that now it was meant for us to be there together,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing now and understanding that was a closure that I needed, just the acknowledgement, the hug, and even the love from my mom in that moment. And yes, she was my adopted mom, but that's all I knew growing up. Um, Even though at some point I do um, meet my birth mother, but it wasn't until I was an adult. So she was all I knew, good, bad, or indifferent, So
That just means you're at peace, really.
I am, I
Yeah.
am, I am, and I know that again, she did the best that she could, and I remember when she passed away, just praying that that God just welcomed her and forgave her for all her sins and welcomed her into heaven, and that's it. So, all right, Jeanelle, thank you so much
No problem.
for these questions. Thank you so much for being here. And I honestly want to say to you again, I am very proud of you,
Thank you.
and keep shining, keep being great. And I plan on having you back again as a guest, probably more in a girly girl. We'll have more ladies here just sharing our experiences and walks of life. And I want to
Yeah.
also, maybe if you're open to it, coming back on the show for you to let the world know more about you,
I'd love
and
that.
what is one of your biggest challenges, because I know we just went off camera for a little bit and you mentioned your dad, and I wanted you to have the opportunity to share that, so go.
Yeah, so it pretty much shaped me that tomorrow's not promised. Always cherish your loved ones, no matter what you've went through with that person. My father and I, growing up, I was definitely a daddy's girl at some point in time, but then later down the line, I just eventually kind of like pushed myself away, and I'm like, oh, I don't really need my father or whatever. Didn't really communicate with him as much as I should have,
Mm,
and it wasn't until he passed away randomly. And I don't mind saying he died of a brain aneurysm. That's when it actually hit me, and the fact that he passed away alone in the hospital by himself. It
mm,
for the longest, it ate me up in the inside, knowing that, dang, like, he died by himself. I did not want that for him. So I didn't get to have my last conversation with my father. And for a while during the time I was in Miami getting ready to get my father cremated, I was in denial of my father's death until I went to see him one last time, and that's when it hit. So
mm.
since then, um, I've learned that cherish those that you care about. So now that I just have my mother, I make sure I call her every day, have all types of conversations with her, cherish moments, because one day she's going to be gone as well. So, yeah, definitely it shaped me with that.
Okay, and thank you for sharing that. And again, I wanted you to share that piece of you so people can learn more about you, so when we bring you back on the show, we can dive more into that if you want to,
Yeah.
about how that shaped you. And even though you didn't get a chance to have that last conversation with your dad, I believe that he can hear you. So I'm sure you probably speak to him all the time, but continue to speak to him and tell him how much you love him. And I'm sure he is very proud of you. So,
Thank you.
All right. I want to thank you all again for watching Simply Be Simply Me. Continue to support, like, share, subscribe on YouTube. And we're not going to do a Q&A this episode, but have your questions sent to Simply Be Simply Me DM, or you can email us, and we're here. And please don't forget to always be a blessing to others. Thank you, and thank you again, Jeanelle.
Thank you.
Bye.